have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. America first. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and I will sign an order to stop being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. America first.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, just bathed and shaved. It took me a half a day total time to make and publish all of those Trump Ice 2025 playlist videos. They are on a playlist, so in case you're concerned that you may have missed one, go to my playlist section, Trump Ice 2025, and start them in order. Oh, man. See, when I do conference videos for a whole weekend, I am just completely exhausted, usually by the end of Saturday. And so this was just a half a day, and wore me right out. But there's some things I noticed about it that we'll get into in the discussion. This is going to be an Idaho Chick comment reply video, and go over the ICE playlist with you, as well as going over now what's up with Oaks threatening us for Easter, now that the first day has come and gone. Technically this is the first day, but he jumped the gun. And I remember a couple of years ago, actually it was even before the 2020 election, that I was thinking to myself, what would I do if I were president? And the things that I would do would need to be done immediately upon getting sworn in. And so to see Trump do a similar thing, despite his hesitation, I was going, hey, he stole that idea from my brain. But yeah, record number of signings. So let's talk about the playlist first, then Trump, and then Idaho Chick, and then Oaks. Playlist, Trump, Idaho, and then Oaks. Okay. Because if you saw in those videos, there's Sister Jessica who leaked Oaks from her mission president, that all of this was intentional. What happened yesterday was intentional, and which is why Trump hesitated, which we'll get into in a bit here. So there's why the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been trying to silence me on YouTube, and also silencing me by trying to murder me and separating me from all of the evidence. Nobody wants the plot exposed. Evil people don't want to be exposed. They don't want a document trail. They don't want a trail of evidence. They don't want a money trail. They don't want that. But without fail, in order to do their plot, they have to do documents, money, and evidence that people who are looking for it can find it, no matter how hard they try to cover it up and hide it. Knowing this, I did what I do. And so, as I told you over the weekend, I think, in videos probably near the end of the hour-long plusers. So just a heads up, this probably is going to be a long one. Back to normal. I don't like these quick videos, Travis. I want to hear you talk for hours. Can never satisfy everybody. And so if I knew then what I know now, I would have done then what I did today. And it would have been all organized in my file systems for quick retrieval of all these videos. Because those of you who've been following me faithfully go, oh man, you could have used that video, Travis. You could have used that picture, Travis. That's wise, because I have to find it. I've got massive projects all lined up for me. But yeah, this is why I do what I do, is because all of the news for all the latter days, I can do the same thing for every single day. Do clips, snapshots, assemble them together to give you the bigger picture of what has been going on this whole time. And for YouTube and the church to attack me to try to destroy this project is how and why they're evil. They don't want to be leaked. They don't want to be exposed. And so when there are certain things that I find that they didn't think I'd ever find, that's where the attacks get serious. Like finding The Way to Perfection by Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. I'd heard the myth my whole life as a child growing up. But I wanted to know the source. I wanted to know if it was correctly talked about or if it was adjusted and there's some extra information I want to know. Sure enough. Sure enough. And so these videos, you'll notice, showed repetition. We have AI now that refuses to tell us the truth. I've done the tests with you on live videos and showing you the results. They are incapable of telling us the truth. No matter how many times you ask, over the time, it's not learning. It is not intelligent. It is not a sentient being as they're claiming it is. It's a manufacturing commercial fraud that is a national security threat as a malware virus. And it has just dominated our culture with lies and information that we cannot trust anymore. We cannot trust what we are being told. And so you'll notice in those clips, I repeated factual news live coverage from yesterday. It can't be disputed by anybody who watched it. And yet, with AI that takes it from human evil of deliberately lying to misinform the public, to cause confusion, to change definitions, we have had a problem of this misinformation creeping in to our press, into our government leaders, into religion. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints constantly lies to us. And these lies from every single source, not just the church, are repeated over and over and over and over again, like watching the whole playlist from the beginning to the end. And you have to remember, I watched them more than you did if you watched all the playlists. I had to make the clips. Oh my hell. So fortunately, I had playing in the background Panama over and over again on repeat. The greatest invention ever was CDs and then digital, where we can have them repeated in a CD player or on our computer systems, or streaming on YouTube, but YouTube doesn't want you to listen to it repeatedly. They throw in advertisements that stop the loop. And by saying that, YouTube's algorithms will pick this up and go, oh, okay, we'll put in an advertisement for this next song, whatever it's going to turn out to be. Just pure evil. And so, repetition was used by the Jews. The Qumran community, who wrote the scriptures, plagiarized Deuteronomy, the law. They had their scribes in training learn by copying the law and other documents repeatedly over and over and over again. And so in the Qumran community scrolls, Dead Sea Scrolls, you see some of the trainees who made errors and what they had to do when being graded on their errors. And so this repetitive pattern is a learning tool. And so for these different government, press, church, to repeat falsehoods until people believe it is maliciously evil, because this is an effective learning tool for truth. If you get factual science-based information taught in the public school systems. And unfortunately, the enemy just wants to turn everything into chaos, anarchy, confusion, for the sole purpose of controlling behavior, psychology, which they can be added into the mix. They're the ones behind all of this. And so I watch my videos for the purpose that I've noticed the pattern. And sure enough, when I was watching them, likewise, that same pattern confirmed why I have to watch my videos. Is because when I watch them, the algorithms get triggered for greater likelihood of getting recommended to others. And thus others have it pop up for them to watch. Thus I have to do it. And this is why YouTube has tried over the years to attack me, as just a couple of times last year, for example, they forbid me from watching YouTube while signed in because of this. Watching my videos triggers the algorithms, and so they altered the algorithms with AI to ban me from viewing YouTube by saying this content is not available. No, it's just not available to me. I can watch it not signed in. And so as a result, I was not able to watch the news and put a line by having watched the video, so I know where I left off. And it was a malicious cyber terrorist hate crime attack that was being done to me, that has been done to me all these years, because the church ordered it. And, thank God Trump finally ordered them to stand down and leave me alone. Free speech! Back off! That's not exactly what he meant, but I'll use it. Because he has some contradictions that he's hoping you're going to be stupid enough not to catch. Right, blacks? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. He demonstrated how he's a racist still, thanks to Stephen Miller, who was in charge of writing that for him, I imagine, since he's a big part of his life again, the neo-Nazi that he is. You probably, one of the pictures, you can see him clearly. There's another security guard, though, who looks similar to Miller, but it's not Miller. But Miller is in one of those pictures clearly, and I think you can sort of see him briefly in one of the videos at Welfare Square. But yeah, he's behind the mind of Trump. He writes things out for Trump and all that stuff. And so you've got to pay very close attention, because it's a neo-Nazi that's writing it. Anyway. Let's see. I'm crossing off when I talk about it. Got notes about this too. And so yeah, this was my mission that I've been telling you about with the dream that I had in February 2017 that began in May. And like I said, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done things a whole bunch differently, but didn't, and so this is the case. Bum, 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 bum. Repeating all I believed. And church falsehood. And so, yeah, it's disturbing that people believe lies that are repeated over and over again by never checking them in the first place. So they spread the lies to enhance the falsehood spread, the misinformation spread. And it's not cool. Not cool at all. So, one thing that is of interest is that my views had tanked this morning. Last night, sure, there's a slight rise, but nowhere near Sunday. I'm not sure if, I think the picture might be put in. It's not looking like it would be yet. But, and I probably should put this in. But after putting in the playlist, I began getting 26 for the remainder of the hour of 9 to 10 a.m. and 69 views for the main bulk of 10 to 11 a.m. And then it was 15 views where I left off when I took the picture here. Snapshot. And so yes, doing lots of videos obviously is going to increase views, because one video getting one view is less than 10 videos getting one view. Okay. Oh, right. bring that up. Okay. So, got some other pretty pictures to give you for this video that you've already seen, obviously. Sticking to my pattern rather than putting them at the end. Is that the order that they were published is alphabetically backwards. And so, like I said, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done then what I did today. And so there's lots of repetition in the videos because I used the same template, saved it, put in the next thumbnail picture and other additional information to make it different from the rest, and save it, and then go to the next. And so they all are not in order like I want to do with the playlist idea, potentially episode playlists where I'll have episode 1, episode 2. This was not done like that, and it didn't really matter what order they were in because I knew that people are going to watch whatever they were going to watch regardless. And so each one of these are different. And it was interesting that Welfare Square was the big hit out of the 10, dominating over the rest. It's 32 views when I took this picture, but again, because of AI, I can't trust which one is telling me the truth of the number of views per video. Every single place that gives me the views for a video is all different. So I don't know which one to trust. But clearly, all of the sources expose the Welfare Square one as the most popular. And so not the church administration building. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. But yeah, the Trump one has some extra videos above and beyond, whereas the administration only has some extra pictures. Hint, hint. It was funny. Funny, funny, funny. But yeah, all of them are everything that the church is doing that violates Trump's intentions. The church is literally a sanctuary state with everything that the church is involved with. We involve people who are sent to America to be religious people, and they're not American citizens. Now, granted, we have governors who are Mormon who can fast-track citizenship, just like Brigham Young did with a perpetual immigration fund. If you pay it off, you get American citizenship. They're still doing the same old criminal operations. They have never changed. Never changed. Never. They just won't do it. And so the BYU one, that had some misplaced order with the Nelson, do you see what's happening with Trump America First? You're supposed to switch those, but I'm sure if you watch that last, you'll catch on. That's because as I'm watching or uploading the second to last video, I went, oh yeah, BYU. Oh man. One of the disadvantages of doing saves, but not saving the document, but not doing a backup for the document. That was the risk. I took it, and that's the result, is making that boo-boo. I had a list of the order that helped me out. But after I did the Cox video, that's when I decided to put in a couple of the Nelson stuff and the Trump chosen one thing, which are some oldies but goodies. And then, this is my video page comparison from the algorithm page, showing the different ones. And so, where's Welfare Square? 26 for Welfare Square on my video page, but 32 on the algorithm page, or the analytics page. Very interesante. And so, despite being first, it wasn't first, which is unusual. The other one, owned apartment buildings, does appear to be second with the church administration headquarters building or thing. But we'll have to see what happens later as time goes by. But the administration one jumps to 11 on the analytics page, and then the distribution center is up to 9. The sanctuary one is 7, and then Provo is 6, and 8 for the Nelson Temple, or Nelson apartment, 9 for the apartments. And then it looks like 8 for the BYU. Interesting. 7 for Cox, and a lowly 4 for the church office building. You gotta watch them all. There's something special in each one. Something special. Something special. Alright. So are we done with that stuff? Don't believe the truth. So the comment reply I got the other day by a person who saw the video, saw the Joseph Smith Papers documents that I put directly in the video, and then even put each page of the transcript of those original documents from the Joseph Smith Papers. No alteration whatsoever by me. I did put commentary to highlight certain parts, but that was it. For the Relief Society, which YouTube killed off. All right, Travis, that's enough. Okay, so that's Idaho Chick. So it looks like we're done with the playlists. All right. So Trump. Okay, all this is Trump stuff. So, like what I was telling is, Trump had a record-breaking number of signings on that day of his inauguration. And I'll go over this list as reported by a online news source from, I think it was Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh. Whatever. It was a local local news website from another state. So I knew I could trust it, that it's not some guy pretending to be news when they're not. And so, reinstating the name Mount McKinley, and so I learned a little bit more about this as somebody had talked about it. Obama was the one who changed the name to a native language term, meaning high or exalted, something like that, in the native tongue of Alaskan natives. And so Trump is doing a double take on this thing. Not only is it the president that I talked about yesterday, who was assassinated in office right before the start of the Civil War, which is very interesting that neo-Nazi Stephen Miller is having this brought up in his speech. He refers to him a couple of times in his inaugural speech. But, and so it's not just sticking it to Obama, who was in attendance, but it also seems to suggest that 3rd Nephi chapter 7 with Oaks, which we'll talk about when we get to Oaks at the end, is still in play, that this plot is still going to go forward, but Trump's the president now. What are you guys planning? Does Trump know? And I'm curious about Easter now, of what they're going to be doing. But nonetheless, a very curious usage of President McKinley. Then you have renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and nobody else in the universe will acknowledge the change. It's like North Korea wanting to be confirmed as a legitimate nation. Nobody does. Nobody does. I'll nuke you, I promise. Sure, whatever. Who are you again? Designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And so that's significant because Hamas was, and even Hezbollah, I think, both of them, were declassified as terrorist organizations, and then they rose up to power and then attacked on October 7th, so that they had to be relabeled as terrorists again. But it pisses me off. Again, Israel shows that they are better people, despite being victims. As only 3 Israeli women were freed this time, and Israel released 90 women and children who were acting as terrorists for Hamas. When you give aid and comfort to terrorists, you are a terrorist too. Those women and children were not kidnapped, held hostage by Israel. They are terrorists. They helped Hamas. Nobody cares to understand this. So anyway, but drug cartels, it's the war on drugs again. It went so well with the Poppy Bush administration, which was only a way for us as Americans to be involved at the CIA, to be involved in drug trade and make money for the secret dark money. Pretending that we're helping Americans. So yeah, that's all that is. Trump's now wanting a piece of the action. Ending diversity, inclusion, and equality, DEI. It's supposed to be diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. I warn you guys, you don't listen, you don't believe. That's the title of the video. Remember the Respect for Marriage Act that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints made sure to get passed? With their exemption clause, as Mitt Romney pushed it so that the certain number of senators that were needed to pass it approved of it. Oh, okay. So yeah, religion, we can ignore it. Good. We'll approve it. Well, now, what Trump has done has made it so that the Respect for Marriage Act only has respect for one man, one woman, the national designation for gender and sex. I warned you, you don't listen, you don't believe. Stephen Miller, neo-Nazi. I warned you, this is what the Nazis did in Germany before it all hit the fan. They tricked you into having this identity. They tricked you into making it a legal identity. And now Trump just pulls the rug out from under you, burns the bridge that was built, just like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so yes, this will be used to overthrow gay marriage, Respect for Marriage Act, and LGBTQIAPO+, because I think there's some trans stuff in here too, aren't there? Let's keep reading, there's a long list. Temporary withdrawal of all areas on the outer continental shelf from offshore wind leasing. This you'd have to know about Trump's fear of windmills. Windmills and sharks. And eagles. And wind. And that other unknown named daughter, who was still looking very cute, very lovely. But I noticed, because I noticed these things, Ivanka Trump wearing the green outfit, green beret. There was a woman in the audience with the same outfit. She had found out what was going to be worn for that day, and she wore it. Oh my hell. That's so rude. Too bad there was no red carpet, sort of. You got Ivanka and other women who come on the red carpet through the Capitol to get to the rotunda, but beyond that. That's as far as it goes. They don't stop to pose. Strike a pose. Revocation of any active or current security clearances held by former intelligence officials involved with inappropriate political coordination with the 2020 Biden presidential campaign and John R. Bolton. I think that has to do with what he was talking about, the social manipulation or the politicizing or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what was going on. I don't think this is the mask. Excuse me. I don't think this is or the vaccines. Those who refused to get vaccinated got fired from military service. I don't think that is this. Granting pardons for January 6 rioters. Mormons have now been pardoned for their role. And so I probably should remember to put that picture in. I've got them set ready to go. Put in LDS January 6 pics. There's both the Oath Keeper, married to a Mormon, and that's why he calls it Oath Keepers. And then the Idaho guy who was in charge of youth boys, he was the one that was captured on camera scaling the walls of the Senate chamber. Mormons. It's like they've never even read 19 July 1840. Yes, another plug on my academia page. You can see it for free, get it for free. It's scripture formatted. It needs to be a part of your scripture collection. It's Joseph Smith. You know, the founder you claim as our founder. Even though you call him Christian. There's a reason why Brigham Young did not get it published. So yeah, Oak said that was just going to be a test run. That's the Oak's time. Reevaluating United States foreign aid. He bailed on the Paris Climate Accord. I heard that. I don't know if that's going to be listed in here. But foreign aid, yeah, that's funding of terrorism. The church does this. So that could be good, depending on who the foreign aid is that you're giving to. If it's the Red Cross, no, you're funding terrorism. We shouldn't be giving aid to the Red Cross anymore. They should be all locked up as terrorists. Declaring a national energy emergency. Drill, baby, drill. Rachel Maddow went on sabbatical to write that book about how military oligarchy, monarchy, dictatorships use gas and oil to run their nation. And it turns it into corruption, and it falls, and military coups are involved. Without fail, that is a pattern of practice. Gas and oil are obsolete. They've been obsolete for about 100 years now. Steven Seagal has a movie up in Alaska, actually, is where the movie is set in, on Deadly Ground. Excellent movie. I've quoted that movie in a number of videos. To mean, abusive Mormons. I just have to say cupcake. And so, yeah. I'm sure you can just type in on your YouTube search, Steven Seagal cupcake. It should come up. Or is it cream puff? I think it's cupcake. And I do need to have a Steven Seagal marathon one of these days. And so, yeah, he did away with electric vehicles. So all of you who thought you were helping the environment by purchasing an electric vehicle, it's now worthless. Good luck trying to get money back to buy a gas and oil vehicle. This new complex has designated parking spaces for electric vehicles. Under Biden, he was trying to spread electric charging stations throughout the nation. And Trump just destroyed them all. Just unbelievable. So that's the national energy emergency. Which is only going to help the big gas and oil companies. It's going to hurt us, the people. Restoring accountability for career senior executives. I'm not senior executives. Not exactly sure what that one's about. They do offer links to each of these if I wanted more detail. Promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. Was that Ivanka? Daddy, can we put this in, please? Okay, dear. So yeah, that's already in the Constitution, but he's talking about federal civic architecture. Restoring the death penalty in the U.S. Yeah, Utah had a death penalty the other month, wasn't it? But you also need to pay attention to that. Trump wanting to restore the death penalty in the United States. Pay attention to that. Especially when he declares martial law with his national emergencies that he declares. Because with the death penalty, when a national emergency is declared at the southern border, he then justifies them shooting to kill anybody who's caught crossing over the border. That's what he's trying to justify there. Or hurricane relief, sending in the FEMA agents, shoot to kill. So it's different than you think. Trump does not follow the justice system. He got away with all his crimes. So he's not talking about having justice in our courts. That's not what he means. Remember, Nazis, Stephen Miller. Routing more water from Sacramento, San Joaquin Delta to other parts of California. That's giving the middle finger to Governor Newsom. civil war has begun. Securing the United States borders, that's the wall, I think. Not the national emergency, which I think he does talk about that somewhere in this list. We're only still on page 1 of 3 pages, guys. United States citizenship does not automatically extend to those born in the United States. This is him demanding that Congress amend the 14th Amendment, Section 1. And it's expected that Congress will say only going forward from the time that the bill is passed, not post or going back in time to say, oh, sorry, we've now made an amendment, your marriage, your birthright citizenship no longer counts, so get out. No more. But it's Trump. And so he wants everybody who is illegal and thus born in America, thus illegal, to not have birthright citizenship. But it's up to Congress. But Trump can refuse it and demand that they do it right. But 3/4, I think, to overthrow a veto. Realignment of the U.S. refugee admissions program. Getting rid of it. Are you from Sweden? Okay, you're in. Oh, you're from a bleep hole country? Nope. Nope. Denied. Unleashing America's affordable and reliable energy and natural resources. He's not talking solar power. It's both affordable and reliable. I bet he's talking about nuclear power. For Musk. Mr. AIs. God. Do not give him access to a nuclear power plant. Clarifying the military's role in protecting the U.S. borders. Shoot to kill. Clarified. Shoot to kill. Ooh, that could be a theme song. I'm seeing a pattern here. America First. KKK. Trade policy. That benefits American workers, manufacturers, farmers, ranchers, entrepreneurs, and businesses. Yep, we're all part of the KKK. I belong to the KKK, KKK, KKK. Resolving the backlog of security clearances for executive offices of the president. I want my daughter in. She's a security risk, sir. What did you say? Nothing. She's cleared. She's cleared. Restoring accountability. To policy influence positions within the federal workforce. This is targeted to Democrats. It's not going to be for MAGA, and especially not Trump. Withdrawing the U.S. from who? The World Health Organization. Yep. Our friends become our enemies, and our enemies become our friends. Delaying Tech Talk for 75 days. Oh, I heard 90. He lowered the amount of days. Interesting. You know why that was done, right? You don't know, huh? Did you know that the TikTok CEO rushed to see Trump when he was ordered to have it banned, and then paid him money? And then Trump now says, okay, we'll postpone the ban for 75 days now. You don't see the pattern? Apparently the news didn't. Putting America first. In international environmental agents agreements. So at the top of every document, America first, mission accomplished. But we bailed on the Paris Accord. So we don't have any international environmental agreements. Trump withdrew from them. Oh my God. Deliver emergency price relief to the American people. Really? Am I getting paid? I doubt it. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Because I'm just hearing false promises that he doesn't intend to keep. And the big tech guys who bribed him are going to be the ones who get the emergency price relief. Because I'm seeing tinkle-down economics. A hiring freeze for federal civilian employees does not apply to military personnel of the armed forces or positions related to immigration enforcement, national security, or public safety. Interesting. Oh. Is that contractors? Oh, hiring freeze. He did the shutdown of the government without the shutdown of the government. Interesting. Because I think they only kicked the can. Well, did they make it for the full year? Or is it kicked to March? Can't remember now. Regulatory freeze pending review. He's stopping certain things from happening. Restoring freedom of speech. There it is, YouTube, right there. Gotta back off. Leave me alone. Let people see my videos. Make Travis channel great again. And ending federal censorship. Rescissions of dozens of executive orders and actions from Biden administration. That's what Biden was supposed to do when he took office and he failed. And here Trump is, He's doing it. He did it. It's done. Every executive order of Biden is now rescinded. With just the one simple Donald Trump's signature. That's all Biden had to do, and he didn't do it. And now Trump goes and does it. Ending DEI in federal government, too. Okay. So he's going all out. I warned you. But this also isn't just for LGBTQ, obviously. It's for blacks and women and Hispanics and others who are not white. And so whites are discriminated against in the DEI programs. That's why Trump is doing this. You know, I warned you. You didn't believe, you didn't listen. Thought you knew better. Thought everything was going to be fine in America. All is not well in America. And so, yeah, the DEI programs are gone. And so this applies to work, as we already started to see this in Fox News, talking about how a number of big corporations were dropping DEI already. And so Trump just made it official to let these big corporations do what they're doing already. Because this, when I was in the 80s, this was being done in California. And it just destroyed the business community, who were being forced to hire somebody who's uneducated, unexperienced, and incompetent, just simply because they were a DEI. And so the businesses were ruined because the people that they were hiring, forced to hire, were not helping the business. This is why businesses, it's a tough situation. Because if you're not educating people equally from childhood, then there's already an unequal standing by the time the kids graduate and either get into the workforce or go off to higher education. And so you had higher education also doing this DEI, and it was ruining things. And then you get a whole bunch of DEI who follow TikTok, believe whatever TikTok tells them to believe, and then they chant, "Burn America to the ground" and Holocaust the Jews. So yeah, this was a psychologist 90s program to destroy America thing that Trump is stopping here, which is interesting because he's using the other dichotomization of psychology on America to attack the other false dichotomy. But this pitting the two groups has been done by psychologists for generations. And so, yeah, what should be done is to do away with DEI, but make sure that you are equally educating students throughout the nation equally. Same education for everybody, so that everybody has an equal opportunity according to the Constitution, 14th Amendment, Section 1, rights to life, liberty, and property, and thus the rights to education to be the same as everybody else's. And thus, parents likewise, children of households that are poor, tend to do poorer on their schoolwork. For the most part, there are those exceptions, but you can't trust to rely on exceptions to be the standard norm. Too many people want to justify that. So yeah, there are a lot of problems. This is just going to make things worse. Only two sexes. Yeah, no duh, that's science. But that's not what he's doing it for. Because if they did it according to science, they would allow abortion. But anyway. And so, yeah, this is doing away with LGBTQ specifically. So, yeah, to be recognized by the federal government, which means Respect for Marriage Act, gone. It now means that marriages only recognize male and female marriages for the federal government, and thus the Respect for Marriage Act is only respect for male and female marriages. I warned you, you didn't listen. And so this causes further damage to all those who went all in on this, to change their IDs, to change their birth certificates, as now you've got to change them back if you're going to get things. Not just government benefits, but IRS. You cannot file taxes as an LGBTQ IAPO+. Jobs can say, I don't recognize this sex. Can't hire you. I've got to fill out government papers on you, and you don't have the right sex listed. And so, yes, I warned you, you didn't believe me. Stephen Miller rises again. Department of Government Efficiency. Ramaswamy quit. It's just Musk. This was late breaking. Ramaswamy is out. Fascinating. Musk offended him so greatly, he's out. Did you see the camera? At least PBS. I'm not sure if every camera crew had the same angle. When Trump declares he's going to put our flag on Mars, we all know that's for Musk. He's the one talking about going there. And so, yeah, that was Musk's thing. And so, yeah, he's doing the, yeah! Dumbass. Everybody thinks he's smart. He's not smart. He's a Nazi. His cars blow up, too. Not the Las Vegas one. He's had other vehicles that explode, catch on fire. That one was deliberately lit on fire, which was a sad situation. Military vet who was having trouble in a relationship, I guess, but regardless. And so, yeah, it's just Musk for the Department of Government Efficiency now. Specifically designed to overthrow the federal government, ruin everything. Get rid of all the bloated federal government. You see, when you're a leader over many people, over 300 million in America, you need people in different divisions. You need a chain of command to make sure things get run smoothly and efficiently. And Trump is doing away with all of it. And thus the government will not be overseeing businesses like Musk's. He's been having problems in California because of government oversight stepping in on him. And so, yes, Musk was put in charge of this because of that. I still think he moved to Texas, though. But yeah, this is again attacking California specifically, but nation generally. And so, yes, the bird flu that's getting into our food supply and such, and other things, vaccines and such, you weren't going to have federal agencies in charge of any of this anymore. And so we're going to see a lot more salmonella poisoned food, bird flu stuff, and other aspects of medical care being tanked because the federal government's not involved in oversight. And so back in Placentia, when we had cereal boxes, I would open them up and there would be silverfish not only stuck in the lining of the bag inside, but also in the bag. I'm not hungry, Mommy. Well, if you're hungry enough, you'll eat it. Excuse me? There are kids in China who are going hungry. Well, send it to them then. I said that to my mom. I immediately shut her up. And so I expect to see silverfish for your cereal boxes again, and rat droppings, and that's what it all means. Putting America first and its interests in foreign policy. Shouldn't we just say Heil Hitler? Isn't that what you want us to say? I mean, Heil Trump. Protecting U.S. citizens from terrorist attacks and threats by locking us up. I, Robot. This also concerns me because it also indicates that we're about to have a terrorist attack and a terrorist threat. Whenever they protest too much, you got to be careful of that. Tapping into the vast natural resources, energy, and seafood in Alaska. They're talking about exterminating species. There's overfishing in the Pacific Rim. Japan does it, and other nations, not just us, are exploiting and exterminating species of animals in the oceans. And then with climate change, we're starting to see the transitioning of the new ocean life and wildlife and other life for the climate change. But this is what climate change activists are in denial of. When they demand that we protect the environment. What they're saying is they don't want to change into a different environment. There's nothing wrong with altering the environment to another environment, just as long as you understand that a number of species in the previous environment will not be able to exist in the new environment, and other species will be created for the new environment. It's just the way it is as you go around the world and you see the different environments around the world. And so likewise with climate change, you're creating new environments that will do the same situation, and so you'll have exterminations of certain species and others. So yeah, when the meteorite hit Earth in the Gulf of America, killed off the dinosaurs. I don't see them complaining, "Bring back the dinosaurs, they were unfairly treated." No. Things happen. But here, man is causing it, and so I can understand, seals are cute and cuddly and are used as spies and weapons by Russia, as well as penguins. But yeah, I like seafood. I'm all for seafood. But again, if you're in the business of seafood, for example, it's not in your best interest to exterminate the species that you're trying to sell and make a profit off of and have a lifestyle with. Yeah, if you're going to take something from the earth, you need to also give back to the earth. And thus, for the fish, if you're going to take fish, you need to make sure that the fish are able to spawn and produce more fish so that you have a repetitive supply of fish, and that you only take from the adults that have already spawned new fishies, so that you can keep the cycle going. Otherwise, overfishing, and eventually fishermen won't have any fish to sell, and thus their businesses are bust. It's going to suck for the fisheries, who now are out of work, and they got to find another job because they're not dead yet. Ensuring the federal government carries out the United States immigration laws. Cox, no handcuffing ICE with a sanctuary state. Let ICE go. Lock you up. Lock you up. Pulling Paris from the Paris Agreement. Declaring a national emergency at the southern border. So now the military, not just the National Guard. And so, yeah, shoot to kill. Pulling the United States out of the global corporate tax deal secured by Biden. Well, yeah, you overthrew all of Biden's stuff. That was an executive order, wasn't it? Or was that a Congress thing that he signed? And then probably a Congress thing because it involves money. Biden can't do anything with money. He says he wants to do something by declaring this California fires as a national emergency or a national disaster, but that only goes so far. Congress still has to fund FEMA with that. And then organization of the National Security Council and subcommittees. So it's not the NSA anymore, it's now the NSC. the Harriman NSA spy building. Oh, no, we're just data storage. That's it. That's all. Yeah. From what? Recordings without a warrant. Specifically of all of us. This video, right now. They're recording it. They've hacked my computer and they're recording me. And so, yeah, the war against Panama, Greenland, and Canada, that has been delayed until February 1st, from what I've heard. So he's still going to do the tariffs, but he's hesitating. This is why we're going to lead into Oaks, as we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Crap. And it's 2 o'clock. Let me get my dailies, and then we'll come back. Notice I'm not being attacked. They're obeying Trump. Good for you. But it's probably a grumbly video. Alright. And so, yeah. Idaho Chicken Oaks are next. Although we could do this as a 2-parter. I don't know. Most people won't watch this far in anyway. I don't know. Maybe we should stop. Maybe do a part 1 and part 2 as a separate video. We'll see.